Welcome everybody to another episode of Mass Effect Andromeda. This is JediRedeyeX, and today we are here in our multiplayer series. We're going to talk about objectives and all the different types of things that you've got to do, the different types of them, how to beat them be a little more efficient at them. So that we've got 5 types to start with. We have uploads, we have hacks, we have retrievals, devices, and targets. And we're going to get into each of these as we move through the episode, and we're going to show you some footage from each of them. Now, the way that you beat objectives efficiently and get the highest rating is by doing them as quick as you can. It's very, very important to move as fast as you possibly can through these objectives. And if you're not the one taking the objective, if it's something you've got to sit and actually disarm, if you're not the one directly shooting the target, you want to block for your teammates. You want to pick your teammates up. Mass Effect is a team game. I cannot stress this enough. Working as a team, picking each other up, and not worrying about who's actually grabbing the objective. Whoever is closest to the objective will start it. And when we have the area ones, you all want to be there. The more people in the area, the faster you get these objectives done. So guys, you get graded on a star rating. You get 3 stars, bronze, silver, and gold, just like the difficulties of the match. And each one is going to give you a higher multiplier for all your endgame rewards. Your XP, your money, all this stuff. So guys, you want to get all these things done as quick as you can and as efficiently as you can. And so, oh no, we're going down. All right, we'll have to see what happens there at the end of the episode to our ill-fated heroes in their extraction run. All right, guys, so the first one we're going to talk about is uploads. And uploads are by far one of the toughest in the match. And it's because you have to keep the zone clear. It's got to be green in order for the score meter to be clocking. And you really need to use teamwork on this, guys. Early on in the bronze and the silver matches, you can kind of spread out a little bit and kind of send one guy to each one and use one person as sort of a swing player to move into assist on anyone that needs it that's getting overrun. And that works well for bronze and silver. But in the golds, it can get very tough and you can get overrun pretty quickly. All of your holdouts, your uploads, and your hacks is not a bad time to consider using rockets on your higher levels, especially your gold, your silver, if you're really getting overrun, if you've got low-level characters. But that's the time. But you always want to call it out so you don't get a teammate doing it. Now, on golds, a real good strategy to use is split the objectives into the furthest ones and send 2 teammates to each. That way, if you are getting overrun like we just rocketed these guys, we can get out of here, get this done, clear the area, keep it green, score that out. Now, guys, I can't stress enough, the uploads are difficult to keep clear in the higher levels, so you really want to use teamwork. You want to keep those clear as much as you can, assist all the other players so you can get that gold star. And as you move through, if you're both out on opposite ones, you can all converge on that final one to get the clock down as fast as you can. Because as more players you have in the area, the faster that moves. Guys, now we have the hack. The hack is the simpler version than the upload of the area ones. Now, all you have to do is be in the circled area. You don't actually have to hold it or keep it clear. Now, that being said, you want to have everybody in that circle, because the more people you have, again, the faster it moves. The only time that you're scoring on it is when you're in that circle, and that's going to help you personally in your in-game because you get that credit for being in the objective. This is also the time on golds when you can be overrun because you're only in one area and the concentration of enemies is all coming right towards you. So don't be afraid to use a rocket or 2 if you need to. Just make sure you call it out so that your teammates don't have the same idea and you don't fire off multiple rockets and waste them because they are limited in your consumables. But again, it's not a problem to be, to use them here if you definitely need to. You want to use a lot of your AoE attacks and your grenades if you can, biotic explosions, tech explosion combos, whatever you can do to hold this area. Just make sure you stay in it, and that way you have the fastest time. Our next objective is retrieval. Now, retrieval is sort of the Mass Effect version of football, or capture the flag. You're going to have 4 objects that are going to pop up one after another around the map. So at the beginning, you kind of want to spread out so you cover the most area so you can get to those items as quick as you can. Now, you've got to pick them up, and then you've got to run them back to the extraction zone. So if you're not the one that's carrying the item, you want to make sure you're blocking for your teammates. And that way, you're going to know that if you're the one carrying it, you know they're going to be blocking for you. Now, a good idea is to keep the area around the LZ clear. And don't be afraid to pick up multiple of the items in a row if you're right next to them. You know, don't worry, you know, hey, come on over and pick this one up. Everybody gets a chance with all the objectives, guys. Just work as a team, and you'll get through these as fast as possible, and you will knock out those 3 stars on it. But I cannot stress enough how much you need to block if you're not the one carrying it. And with that being said, if the carrier goes down, you have to watch out, because then the item resets back to its original position, and then you've burned off time off the clock. You've got to go run back and get it. So it's very important that the runner stays up. So the guys on the ground, like, see, he just took aggro and went down. I went over, picked him up. Wasn't any kind of big deal. Our runner kept going because he didn't have the heat on him. So, really good idea is to draw all the heat for the carrier so that he can move through. Now, a couple characters that are really good at this job are infiltrators and the vanguards, because infiltrators can go invisible and they can move about the map pretty freely while that's on. And vanguards can attack from across the map and charge 3/4 of the map, and then get to the extraction zone very quickly. Now, some ways to move: you want to dash forward, jump, and dodge is faster than running, and it gets you there quicker. Now, guys, we have our devices, and devices are by far the easiest of all of your objectives that you will have in Mass Effect multiplayer. They're static, which means they're just going to sit right where they stay. You don't have to bring them anywhere. You just have to disarm them, and it's about an 8 to 10 second clock down there. Somebody could clock it and get it exact, but anyway, you just have to sit there and disarm the device. Now, if you're not the one disarming the device, just like in retrieval, block for the guy who's taking it down, because if you get interrupted, that just eats time off the clock. And again, the faster you get these done, the higher rating you get, and the higher score you get, the bigger your multipliers are at the end. And again, it doesn't matter who is the one taking the device. If you're the one to take it, awesome. If your teammates take it, awesome. If you get there right at the same time and they just start taking it, and you do that mad punch past it because you hit the button to activate it, just turn around and start blocking for them. Because the faster you get it done, the easier it is, and you get multipliers to your XP, not only for taking the device, but also for getting kills and assists around the device, so acting as a blocker. So all this stuff helps with your endgame score, guys, because that's essentially what we're doing this for. We're trying to get the higher endgame score to get those higher multipliers, more XP, more money, so you can build your character up better and get better gear. That's what we're doing this for. So guys, make sure you always work as a team. Don't really worry about what the scoreboard says. There's a couple characters that can kind of weight the scoreboard pretty easily. So don't stress about that, guys. Just work as a team, whether you're with random players or if you're just with a bunch of friends. You want to work as a team. Just cover everybody. Finally, guys, we have targets. Now, targets are just that. You just have to go in and eliminate them as quick as possible. In the lower levels, bronzes and silvers, they're usually going to start you out with a heavy and then go to a couple lighter guys, maybe some shielded guys. When you're facing the outlaws, a lot of the time they'll give you a shooter. When you're facing the Ket, a lot of the time they'll give you one of the marauder type guys that go invisible, the disciples. And so guys, you just want to eliminate them as quick as possible. Now, sometimes you can't get so focused on the target that you lose sight of all the mobs around it. Make sure that if you've got all your team there hammering on that target, make sure one or two of you are watching around and, at least distracting the mobs to get them away from the people that are directly interacting with the target, so that, you don't have players going down in the mix. It's important to keep everybody up to make those, hit the targets as much as you can, but you don't forget about the enemies around you. Now, guys, I want to throw extraction in there for the finish. This is where we left our team off at the beginning when we were getting hammered. by the enemies right at the end of extraction. Now guys, extraction is an objective. You can get a full extraction or a partial extraction. If everybody makes it home, you get a full extraction. You're going to get the most money and the most multipliers. And it's very important that everybody is in that ring at the end. But you only want to be in there for the end. Don't make the beginner mistake that I see a lot of new players make of running straight to extraction when the timer hits. And it can be a little confusing. It throws the icon up. You run straight there thinking that, oh, you got to be in that area, and you do. But you want to wait. You want to wait. You want to go to the far end of the map. You want to draw all the aggro that way, kind of move all those enemies away from the extraction. Now, it can get a little crazy, and you want to make sure you're picking each other up so that you don't have to use your self-revives. You want to keep quite a few of your self-revives for the end of the match, for extraction. In case you do need to pick yourself up when things are getting out of control, you want to keep a couple of your rockets in case you're getting overwhelmed. This is where you really want to keep your consumables for. Throughout the rest of the match, kind of let your buddies pick you up. So at the end of the match, you're not out of consumables to pick yourself up if you go down in a bad situation, or you go down at the last second where your teammate can't get to you. Now, we're all going down right here. We're in a bad situation. So this is where you might want to keep some of those self-revives so you can pop yourself up if you need to get out of there. At 30 seconds on the clock, you want to make your way to extraction. Now, sometimes you're caught in a heavy firefight and you can't move as quick as you want. At 20 seconds, you need to be running for extraction so you can be in this ring right here. Now, our buddy goes down and has no more revives, and it's the final seconds on the clock, and we got to grab him. We pick him up, and everybody goes home for a full extract. And guys, that's the way it's done. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I hope it helps you out. And if it does, guys, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, I am JediRedeyeX, and we will see you on the battlefield.